Hello and welcome to this episode of Mythstories, the podcast where we try to decide if a story is hit or myth. It's a wee bit sweaty today, but it's all right. So anyway, we were just discussing. I said this looks like a wolf skin, and Dan asked me what my Indian leader's name would be. Sorry, Native American leader's name would be, and I said sitting there.
Yeah.
You know, like Sitting Bull.
Yeah.
Not so much Crazy Horse as very, very tame, perhaps Lying Down Horse. But anyway...
Gravy drip.
Today's episode, we're going to discuss the gun... What?
What would my wee Indian name be?
Smug
Rent boy?
smug as fuck. That's what you would shout whenever... After you deliver a catty remark to somebody. Smug as fuck. Like Geronimo. Anyway,
Hi.
What? What was that? Fly?
I said hi.
Alright. Oh, very good. I thought down here you would say har, har. Anyway, so, no. Alright. Today's episode is about the gunfight at the OK Corral. What do you know about this, Shane?
Less than very little.
Right, okay. This is
To the point where it's almost nothing.
Right, okay. Have you heard of the movie?
I've heard of the buffet.
The what?
The all-you-can-eat buffet, the Golden Corral.
Oh, the Golden Corral.
Is there a link?
I love it. Mate,
You could do an episode in the Golden
I
Corral.
could, mate. I could do a limited series about the Golden Corral.
But is there a link between this, what you're talking about, and the Golden Corral?
I think just the word corral. A corral is somewhere where you keep horses.
Right.
So, so at this time,
Or like I could corral you into a van.
you could. That would be like keeping a wee sad horse. Do you know what I mean? I'm like a horse. A horse with no energy is a sad horse.
That would be your Indian name.
Sad horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our McCann's would be all right horse. Anyway, so he don't even say that, to be fair. It was just because he's culture. Anyway,
He's not?
yes. He's from Oma. Don't get me started on this. It doesn't matter if you're from Oma town. You're a culture.
Right, okay. Because
Right.
I was going to say he lives in a town. You know what I mean? Right.
Tombstone was a town. They were all still Hicks. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
Bill
so
Hicks.
we're going back here. There's been right. So in popular culture,
We're going back here on this history podcast?
on this history podcast, we're going back to October 26th, 1881. We're going to go back a wee bit further. We're going to go forward a wee bit further, right? But that's the date of the gunfight.
You're like a drunk time traveller?
No, like that's the date of the gunfight, but I'm going to take you back further to give you some context.
Okay.
I'm going to take you further through time, a wee bit closer to our time, to give you some aftermath,
Right.
right?
Yep.
But
So that's like you just provided me with like a history menu.
that's what I'm doing. I'm giving you a wee menu. 26th of October 1881, that was the actual date of the gunfight. Happened about 3 p.m. How long do you think it lasted for?
How many people were involved roughly?
About 10,
40 minutes.
30 seconds. It all went haywire.
So this is an episode about a 30-second gunfight.
A gunfight. This is.
I like it. I'm not being dismissive.
No,
I
no.
just
They say
don't-
this is considered to be like the most famous gunfight in the Old West, right? So why is it called the Old West? Because it's old.
And it was
And it was west, but it was west means the American frontier is pushing out towards California. People are increasingly going further and further and further across the country and making settlements. So, 1881. So this is post. This is about 105 years post the Declaration of Independence. It's about 15 years after the American Civil War. 10, 15 years after that. So people living at this time still have memories of that. People fought in the Civil War here around this time. Anyway, it's an exciting time. A lot of industry. There's been gold rushes in different places.
Is it like after the Civil War things are picking up again?
Things are picking up. People are now starting to move out west. There's opportunity out west.
There's gold in them hills.
There's gold in them there hills, right? So it took place in a place called Tombstone, Arizona. Great name for a town. Hard as fuck. That's it in 1881. That's what Tombstone looked like at this time. It's mucky.
What an ominous place.
Isn't it? It looks hard. Like
This
is a
you're
hard
going on your
life.
holidays? Where are we going? Tombstone, Arizona.
Yeah. Where are we going? We're going to a wee place called Graveyard. It's just west of Tenerife.
I think the only thing I will say is in Tombstone, Arizona, I think I get a cracking tan.
You would
Cracking tan.
You would have got an amazing tan. You might have got shot.
I would have got a tanned hide.
Oh, I like that. Rawhide. That's what I get whenever I've been cycling when not the right monks on now. I don't cycle.
No.
But the only cycle I do is through the Netflix menu with a Chinese in my hand. So that's what it looked like. In popular culture, you may have heard of this gunfight because of the movie, The Gunfight at the OK Corral, which starred Burt Lancaster, Kirk Douglas. Great old-timey Western.
I don't like movies like that are really old.
That's like 1957. It's not that old.
What are the
Well,
oldest movies you're watching? 1810s?
No, but it's not as old as the 1880s. Like,
Right.
that's 70 years after it happened.
Right.
Pretty good. Kirk Douglas, great actor.
Yep.
Burt Lancaster, bit of a cheeser. Anyway, I've always found him cheesy.
Right.
Do you like westerns though, as a genre?
Some of them I do, some
See,
of them I don't.
I think I like them because I remember Channel 4 used to show a lot of them.
Yeah, during the day.
Yeah, during the day and on like Sunday afternoons.
Do you know who would watch it? You and 76-year-old men.
Well, me and my dad.
Oh, yeah.
I would have sat and watched it with my dad. He didn't make it to 76. Thanks for bringing that up. Anyway, so love you, Jim. Anyway, so basically,
You want to fire one?
yeah. I'll do that thing. And I saw there's a guy who was on not Kitchen Nightmares, Hell's Kitchen, going like, and every time he talked about he would make like a good meal, and every time he did, he'd be like, "It's for you, Dad."
Right. Yeah.
And I couldn't not laugh at him.
Can I tell you something? See, right, don't like me because I'll tell this really quick.
Right.
At my granny's funeral, I hadn't been playing football that season. The manager of Hollywood Football Club came up to me and went, "Will you play in a game tomorrow? We're stuck for players at the funeral." I went, "Yeah, okay." It was predestined. We won the game where they put together a ragtag bunch of misfits. We won a 3-2. I scored the third goal, and without thinking, I ran away to no fans and started to go like this, caught myself on and went, "You're playing against Cumber Rec when nobody here." And I did the most like styler. I was like, "Oh, yep, happy days." And like, you know. But yeah, my granny's watching down on me when I scored that goal.
That's great. So
she's dead now.
Yeah, speaking of tombstones, so I am. So I was reading about this. So this happened. Basically, sorry. So I'm not sorry. I've just realised where I was. There's the movie. There's the movie Gunfight at the OK Corral.
Yes.
There was a film made like really early on in sound films in talkies. I think there was another reenactment of this, and I just can't remember the name of that film. It wasn't at the OK Corral. It was whatever it was called. But anyway, I think it was about something to do with Wyatt Earp, like a movie about Wyatt Earp. Anyway,
it reminds me of the poster for that of Three Amigos, which is of course the comedy with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin.
Oh,
Martin
such a movie, like
which kind of parodies this kind of thing.
It does. One of the best bits in that for me is when Steve Martin gets shot in the arm.
Yes. And
he walks over to them and he just goes, "This is real.
This is real."
Art Declan said that to me on the morning of his wedding. Like, and I knew what joke he was doing. We're standing waiting on his bride arriving, and he just turns around to me and goes, "This is real." Anyway, so Decky always says, "Don't flash me on this." Decky also said, "Don't flash me." Decky also said what he really wanted to say. No, this is funny. This is worth saying. What he really wanted to say when they go, "Do you, Declan, take..."
Yeah.
You know, that he really wanted to go, "I'm here, Ampna." Right. Which I really enjoy. Anyway, so Ampna, great word.
Eric Ampna.
Nathan Ampton. Anyway, no, yours is better. Anyway, so I also think his name's Ethan, isn't it? Ampadu. Anyway, fucked it. Right. So
Kieran, the light's going to fucking blow up.
There was another movie.
Is going to kill
there
us.
was another movie made in the 90s called Tombstone, and it tells the tale of the gunfight at the OK Corral and the aftermath. Also, and it stars Kurt Russell. We have a photo of it there. It stars Kurt Russell. Isn't there a Tombstone photo? No. You have the poster. I thought we had one of the poster.
We can
of,
get by without it.
Anyway, there's one. There it is. No, the other window. There it is. So we'll have that. Great movie. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Bill Paxton, R.I.P. Sam, what's his name? Sam Elliott.
I've
Brilliant.
never heard of that.
That's brilliant. You
It
should
actually
watch
looks
that.
good. I do like the look.
It's actually brilliant. There were lots of production problems on that, but that's neither here nor there. The director was a nightmare. Apparently, everyone hated him because they swapped directors halfway through, and the only reason apparently it even got made and put out is because Kurt Russell is a boss. Right. Kurt Bossel, right? So, 1881. Come with me. We're gonna go back slightly before this happened. So, Virgil Earp, who we have a photo of.
Okay.
Virgil Earp, sorry. Look at this guy. He's not unlike me.
No.
Sure he's not?
No.
I could get a wee fringe on the go again, maybe throw off a few pounds, shave this, keep the handlebars, right?
Yes.
Anyway, Virgil Earp, he was a US Marshal, right?
Yeah, he looks
in Tombstone. So he made a ruling. Now the Earp brothers were already sort of renowned for being marshals and being like lawmen in a place where there wasn't much law. Obviously, the big problem with the frontiers is still a problem, I think, in America now. If you go to certain places, the rule of law feels very weak because it's so fucking big.
Right.
And they don't have enough people to police it, and they never really have. Anyway, so Virgil and his brothers Wyatt and Morgan, they had previously sort of risen to some notoriety.
They're boys.
In a place called Dodge City, right? I think Dodge in Kansas. I think it is.
Not in Kansas anymore.
Dodge was a place where they made Kansas City shuffle. No.
Hold on. What?
What did you say? Kansas City what?
I said we're not in Kansas anymore.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Kansas City Shuffle. Anyway, it's a song. Anyway, so they were sort of famed lawmen at that time.
Yeah.
But not overly famous, if you know what I mean, but notable. And they would work as lawmen, as pimps, and
Does that not
as...
contradict?
At this time,
It's a Wild West.
It was all good, mate. It was wild. It was good. You'd go into a saloon. There'd be sex workers there. Did you enjoy that dropping of the politically correct term for hers? Anyway, so there'd be sex workers there, and Earp would sort of the Earps were involved in sort of being like pimping them in a saloon. He also had like pieces of saloons, if you know what I mean. So he would have like, if you owned a saloon, Earp would offer you extra protection, sort of like racketeering really, but he would offer it, and then like maybe there's they all had card games and casino type stuff going on.
Yep.
He would take a cut of the game for this sort of protection. He'd be there, make sure no shit went down, and his brothers would basically work shifts with him doing that and being out in the streets as lawmen. So there were a lot of income streams for all of them, but
having
like
their cake and eating it.
they were both the three of them were not great with money because they were also gambling and drinking and all. Right. Anyway, so they were in Dodge City. They move out further west. Eventually, they go to Tombstone. One of the laws they had enacted in Dodge City, which was it wasn't popular to start with, but then it became like successful, was when you enter the town,
Not allowed pants.
you're not allowed guns.
Right.
Check your guns at the sheriff's office, and they would hang everybody's gun up, sort of like a cloakroom. Hang your gun up, you get a ticket, you get your gun belt back when you're leaving town.
Like
This
your
was-
jacket at a nightclub.
Yes, this was to stop. So I said like a cloakroom. This is to stop. Like
Do you want to say this is the stop one?
this is to stop random gunfights and like duels, like draws happening and
Yes.
stuff, and guys maybe you've had you know yourself, Shane. You've had a few pints.
Bring out the pistol.
You're having a wee gamble, we gamble doesn't go the way you want because you're not because you're not betting, you're gambling.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, do a wee gamble,
Mm-hmm.
you lose.
I
you
don't
freak
go out, bet, or drink. So
And then you know yourself though, you whip out that 6-shooter, maybe someone takes a bullet, right? Maybe, and then here you're getting hanged for it, so that's 2 lives gone because you were a drunk gambling cunt.
Right.
The way you can sometimes be like that.
yes,
right?
you know what I'm like. Yeah.
So unhinged, right? So like, anyway, they came to Tombstone, and Virgil was the sort of lead lawman
right.
out of the brothers, and he enacted this law, and some people didn't like it. The main people who didn't like it were called the Cowboys, right?
Right.
Not terribly original.
Terrible builders.
Right? That's great.
What's up with all this guttering? That'd be the Cowboys.
Oh, I seem to have found me a stray bucket of Tom McAdam. You know what I mean? And these cunts just haven't finished doing somebody's driveway. Did you see a state of the fucking streets in Tombstone? So, Cowboys is right? So, these guys were a ragtag group of outlaws, cattle rustlers, horse thieves, all this type of stuff. Dan, if you don't mind, I'd like to introduce the first source, Shane. I've done some research through the British newspaper archive.
I bet you have.
Here we go. So
You're the first
see
person
one,
to use this.
It's the top one there, Dan. The Arizona Cowboys, right?
The British News Archive must have got a notification being
So-
like, someone's finally used the site.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's a brilliant site. See if you zoom in, Dan, on the first highlighted section there, the column. This just gives you a wee sense. Oh, Dan, it's would have murdered you. This is 3 years of my PhD right here, just using this balls in the house. So this is a wee piece from the Graphic.
You said that before.
So this is actually after the gunfight, but you have to remember that at this time, articles like this would take time to get into the British newspapers. So this is probably written before November 1881. But look at this. It describes them as desperate characters with lawless lives. And it goes on and says like they have fierce looking mustaches, belts full of ammunition and guns.
See, because it says Cowboys with a hyphen in between, I'm picturing them like half cow, half boys.
Cow, half boy, like half donkey, half boy out of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
The ass boys, as it were. So it says here, no quarter is given or expected. They are vicious, vicious bastards, these guys, right? They don't live by the rule of law. Look at this, 6 horses. I love that. That tells you about their accent and all. So it says here, look, it describes them as disciples of Rob Roy. You know what I mean? He was a big Scottish rebel. So it's basically saying, like, these people are, like, just totally fucking lawless. They killed a sheriff in the town, right? I just
In
can't
Dodge?
think. In Tombstone.
Right.
I can't think of his name. What was his name, Dan?
Just call him Sheriff
Bill somebody.
Withers.
His name might be in this article, Dan, I think, down the bottom. Not Curly Bill Brocious. He was one of the Cowboys. So we're going to talk about who was in this. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is these guys were nasty, dangerous bastards. And when the Earps...
Historical bad bastards?
Mate, absolute HBBs, right? When they came, although Curly Bill does sound like a HBB, anyway, when the Earps came to Tombstone, these were dangerous criminals that were there. And
Would you say they had a stranglehold on the town?
On the criminality in the town, right? And they would sort of rake in, steal horses, rake out again, or rake in, rustle cattle, and rake out again. They did murders. They did murder this sheriff. So
you really underplayed the murder bit there. You're like they'd rustle cattle, these boys, and then fucking kill people and all. But
fully murder people, right?
Right.
They would viciously shoot people down the street like dogs, right?
Right.
I love when people say that, when they go, "I'll shoot you down like a dog," and I'm like, I've never shot a dog. In fact, if you do shoot dogs, you're probably a serial killer
Yeah.
in waiting. Anyway. No.
He was lead singer of
Wee
Aerosmith.
older man. I think his name was Bill something.
Just call him Sheriff Bill.
Was it Bill something?
It's
It does matter to give the
it
guy his
does
credit. He gets shot dead.
Oh, what do you think his family are going to watch this podcast? Go,
Well,
oh,
maybe
thank
they
God
will.
they've given the respect he deserves. Kieran, shut up and call him Sheriff Bill.
Right. The sheriff, right, gets shot. And the Cowboys kind of...
What was his name?
He gets replaced. He sort of was... He was... Anyway, right, hang on. I'll tell... Fred White. Wasn't Bill at all, right now.
Thank God we can pay
Sheriff
tribute now to
Fred White.
See, when I score my next goal in football, I'm going to throw the hands up for Sheriff
Kiss
Fred
the rest
White.
for Fred White, right? So what I'm trying to communicate here is there was a bubbling tension in and around the town. The Earps come to town. Virgil is doing his give your guns in, lads, right? He's a marshal. There is also this sheriff, right?
What's the difference?
So a marshal has like federal authority to go to different states.
Okay, and the sheriff is just his
Sheriff's in the
jurisdiction
town,
is there.
right? So then, what do you call him? Curly Bill Brocious, who's like one of the top. We'll have a photo of him, by the way. Curly Bill Brocious. What do you say?
I'm so keen to see what he looks like based on what I think he looks like in my head.
I think he looks like
Luke
what you
Kelly.
think. He's not on.
Here,
like
is
him.
that me?
He's a wee bit Shanish.
He is.
Dapper clothes.
Yeah.
Not as curly as you would think for someone called Curly Bill.
No.
Also, look at his hand there. I don't know if there's something wrong with it, but it's a weird...
Which one? The
one on the right, his right hand
he
or
looks like
left.
he's missing a finger,
Yeah.
middle finger.
But
yeah, you're right, he's not that curly, but maybe if he grew, maybe he says to people, but see if I grow this out.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Maybe like it's too short to
Maybe
be
it
curly,
also
but-
refers to, where his tombstone is.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Tombstone.
he ends up
His
shooting
cock.
Fred White. Now I'm just not sure if that happened after or before, but anyway, there's a lot of tension, there's a lot of murder, right? The Earps come to town. Eventually, so there's a guy, we also need to see this guy, Ike Clanton. So he's one of the
Great
top
names.
cowboys. He's running the gang, right? He sort of looks like a shinner at a wedding to me.
Yeah.
But anyway, he Ike Clanton and then the McClory brothers as well, Dan. These are all part of the cowboy gang, and Johnny Ringo as well.
Johnny Ringo.
Yeah. So
Handsome
that's
devils.
Frank McClory. Does he?
Those are handsome.
I think the other
Big Sydney side shit.
he looks like somebody that would serve you in like a deli in Hollywood.
Or a hipster bar, yeah.
What's is it salami or pastrami you're after, bro?
Yeah.
Right. And then his brother looks like somebody that would have worked in the cereal. He's a younger guy in the cereal cafe in Belfast.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't he?
yeah.
You
Tell
know?
you what these boys lacked in decorum, they made up for in volume of hair product.
Yeah. Also, I think what they lacked even in volume of hair product, which is no lack at all, they made up in great portraiture.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Taking the time to go and get your photo done, like.
Yeah, they were passionate about rustling cowboys and just like lovely photography.
Yeah. If there's one thing the McClory brothers was into, it was stealing cattle and fucking showing up for a photo shoot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Headshots, both
What
kinds.
does Johnny Ringo look like?
So Johnny Ringo, what do you see this Tash? Oh my god. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Does he have a wee touch of the Johnny Bow about him?
You think he does?
Imagine Johnny Bow with a loyalist mustache right
Yeah.
now. Johnny Ringbo.
Johnny Ringo.
Yes.
Pat the head of Nepalese soy boy
That's
from
for you,
Michael.
Michael. So these are the guys that are in the gang, right? The top guys that are in it. And then let's show Wyatt Earp, Dan, as well. Just to give people a sense of who we're getting. Mate, you could start a motorbike with them handlebars. Look at that.
Yeah,
That's fucking outrageous.
it is.
Isn't it? And then Morgan Earp as well. So I have Morgan Earp and Doc Holliday to look at. So on one side, you had Virgil Earp, Wyatt Earp, Morgan Earp. He's
I ain't posing for no photo.
Yeah, he hates it. But then
He looks like the guy from My Name Is Earl.
he does a
Earl?
wee bit, yeah. What's his name? That's
Earl?
gonna no. What's his name?
His name
Jason-
literally is Earl. It's in the title.
Jason. My name is Earp. Did you say?
No.
Did anybody say that?
No.
All right.
Jason Lee.
Jason Lee, yeah. So, and then Doc Holliday was friends with Wyatt Earp, right?
Right.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, right? So, again, looks like he works in the cloth here. Anyway, right?
Yeah.
So he stupid aprons they have and all. Right, so he is that still open?
Yeah.
No, that's
good.
Right. So on one side of this kind of gunfight there's bubbling tension. There's been threats are being bandied about. Ike Clanton's been saying he's gonna murder the Earps. The Earps are saying you fucking show up here this time with a gun, you're getting shot down the street like a fucking dog.
Right.
And by the way, like the Earps are kind of hot. They're hard men. Like you have to remember, this is a hard life. Frontier life is tough, right?
Yep.
So anyway, they're friends with Doc Holliday, the Earps. They're on the law side. They deputized Doc Holliday on the day or the day before the gunfight. On the other side was like Ike Clanton, the McClory brothers. I think Bill Brocious was there. Might not have been. Johnny Ringo wasn't there. And there was another 2 guys that were there who I couldn't find photos of.
Johnny Ringo was at the launch of a new lens from Fujitsu.
But they so anyway they go to the so it's called the gunfight at the OK Corral. Now here's the thing. It actually happened about 6 doors up from the back entrance to the OK Corral.
Not as catchy.
Sure it's not.
The gunfight 6 doors up from the OK Corral.
Yeah. Do you know what I think this is like? I think this is like people are going, where did that happen? And you go, say it was Belfast and you went, do you know, it happened, let's go Belfast, and when you go, it happened in High Street, and you go, whereabouts in High Street? And somebody will say
the inn shops.
Somebody will say the inn shops, and somebody go, that's not there anymore. And you go, McCracken's go, that's not there anymore. And then you go, do you know where it happened? It happened at Primark.
Right.
The gunfight at Primark, but it was actually up a street, right?
Yes.
So it happened where it actually, imagine this, the gunfight at Happy Snaps.
Yep.
Or Snappy Snaps, I never know what it's called, one of those. Anyway, it's neither here nor
Snappy
there.
Snaps.
So this gunfight is basically what it started over was the Earps. There's been these threats. The Earps here, Ike Clanton is in town, and have their guns. Virgil Earp is actually the one who's leading this, right? Everybody thinks it's Wad Earp. It was Virgil. They walk up the street towards the OK Corral. They're telling people to get off the street because they think there might be trouble.
Oh, I love when that happens.
These guys are armed, right? They're all armed.
Down the hatches.
Handguns, right? Shotguns, whatever. And they get there, and Ike Clanton is there with some of the other cowboys. Dan, I might need you to look this up as well, just on Wikipedia, because I know 3 people died, and I know 2 of their names are on here, and one of them isn't. Anyway, so there's a few other cowboys there. I just can't remember that guy's name. Anyway, there's other cowboys there, and Virgil Earp says, guys, gonna need you to check it. Guys.
Why is he a substitute teacher?
Okay, guys. My name's Virgil Earp.
Yeah.
Writes it up anyway.
Mr. Earp, call me Virgil. Call me Virgil. I'm only here for the day.
Call me Virg.
Yeah.
Right? And he says,
what do you think he really said? Now, boys.
I think he probably did say something like that, but what if he was like a Belfast doorman? He went, gentlemen, please.
Okay, folks.
So
you know homes to go to. Drink up. Okay, folks.
What if he showed up and said something like, let me see, I like now, boys. Or something like, morning, boy.
Yeah.
Time y'all check your weapons at the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy what I said, chef?
Now, you gentlemen may not have got the memo. Something like that.
Yeah.
Did you
y'all know how to read? Anyway, so...
Y'all didn't check your emails?
So,
Might have gone to your junk.
Virgil goes up and says, here, lads, do you know what'll be class? You're not allowed guns in the town centre. You're being ball bags. Put your guns in. And they go, fuck off, Earp. And he goes, lads, this is going to go sideways here, and it's going to end badly for you. And they draw down. It's just like tension.
Or like him, like caricature him.
They immediately sketch him, right? And go, do you look like that? And then recognise that. And they immediately sketch him, turn it around. It's a caricature. He has massive teeth and he's sucking a dick.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you recognise? Do you know who that is? Virgin Earp, right? Anyway, so
Virgin herp. More like it. So why you have a big moustache? Dirty bastards.
here, look, there's fucking cock holiday. Right?
Top lip looks like a lion bar.
Land bar. That's mental. Right. So that's fucking disgusting. So anyway, so they draw it down and 30 seconds of absolute fucking chaos, right? In the movies, it's always actually they're in the corral where people, it's like a car park for horses, right?
Bouncing off signs and all.
Right? But in reality, it said, I think in the report I read about this, that at one point, a couple of people who were shooting at each other were only like 6 or 8 feet apart, right? And people still get missed. Now, 30 seconds, everybody just empties their guns, as it were, empties their loads, right? And in that time,
You boys mind if I rub one out before this duel?
Frank McClory died. Thomas McClory died. Is the third guy there, Dan?
Billy Clanton.
Billy Clanton, Ike Clanton's brother, right? The 3 of them died. Virgil and Morgan were both hit, and Doc was grazed by a bullet. Wyatt Earp got out of it scot-free. Ike Clanton ran away from the fight and got away with, I think, another 2 cowboys, or 1 maybe. 2 of them ran away, I think. Anyway, he ran away. And he went and told Johnny Ringo and Bill Brocious about it. I think maybe Bill Brocious wasn't there. And these guys get let out now. Like, let out to be buried in the town. And the Earps were actually arrested then by the sheriff.
Okay. In the same town?
Yeah. And they were given...
Can you do that?
Yeah, so...
Under what grounds?
Well, the Clanton put in a complaint
Hold on.
this was murder.
I think there's a lot of plates spinning here. And let me just make sure that people are just seeing the main course.
Right.
You've got the Cowboys, historical bad bastards, causing mayhem in Tombstone. There's a sheriff, who up until this point we haven't heard much of, but maybe he's in with them.
Well, I think if this is Sheriff Behan, he was.
John Behan
was in with the Cowboys.
So the Earps come in as marshals, they kill the bad guys, and then the sheriff's like, hey, you're getting arrested.
Sit in jail. They actually had to sit in jail for a number of days or whatever.
Has the guy put in a complaint?
Yeah.
They shot my mate.
For murder, right? And then
I'd like to logic their car. Are you saying the Cowboys were the original Karens from the West?
Karen Clanton. Right?
Excuse me, I can't just double check. They murdered my mate. Is that okay? Is that okay?
Is that what we're doing now? Is that what we're doing, Tombstone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's Tombstone.
I remember that.
Right. So so they were arrested over this, and then were quickly. Please? So Dan, if you bring up the other wee source, so the first source we looked at was a newspaper from England called The Graphic, ran from about 1869 through to like 1932ish.
Which is Irish for 1932.
This is the American Settler. This ran for about 13 years in America. I think from the 1870s and the 1880s. Now there's a story here about the Cowboys. Dan, if you scroll down a wee bit, actually talks a wee bit about the gunfight at the OK Corral. Down here, where it's basically now this is an article taken from another paper in America. This actually is talking about how Cowboys just get shot dead, nothing happens, and that the Earps are pieces of shit, and isn't that interesting? And there's a bit, Dan, definitely in it where it actually says 3 of them can get shot down and nothing happens, and it's a disgrace. So there's definitely conflicting.
Why were people
conflicting reports of what happened?
But why were people sort of supporting the Cowboys? Is it because
I think it might be like that outlaw thing, or maybe it was like. So this is just after. This is in January 1882. It's a couple of months later. There's definitely something in there about the Cowboys getting shot, because I definitely read it. But that basically when they get shot, nobody cares. Anyway, so the Earps were very quickly acquitted of this shooting, and it was all found to be lawful. Now, so I think, sorry, just to be clear, I believe that this guy Fred White was killed. Was he killed before the OK Corral, and that was part of it? the part of
Yeah,
detention
yeah, yeah,
before. I think
yeah.
he was, right? And the Earps were disgusted that the sheriff got killed, and Bill Brocious got off with it. Got off with killing Fred White, saying it was an accidental discharge of the weapon and all, but he fucking shot him in the head. Anyway, do you ever just accidentally just murder somebody? I know sometimes when you be drinking,
Yeah, you
you
in a
know,
Ladbrokes.
Shane just rings me up and goes, "I'm in Ladbrokes, hide me. I've
Yeah.
done it again." Anyway, so we
Mate, jump in the bed, me and Chloe here.
I'll hide you and my monks, right? So we that's foul. So anyway, we
No other monks in there.
so the aftermath is these three guys are dead. Clanton fucking tries to get them arrested. They get let off, and then the Virgil Earp about 2 months after this, in December, there's a vigilante attack on Virgil Earp, and he was maimed. So like he got shot, I think, in the leg, and they had to take part of his leg off. So he's on a stump, basically, right? Like a wooden stump the rest of his life, a wooden prosthetic.
Arsenal boot.
So he then basically retired out of it and went further out west because he couldn't be a lawman really anymore. You know, like medicine at that time was just like rudimentary. Like, I mean, he couldn't do that job with the amputation. So then about another month after that, the Cowboys attacked Morgan Earp while he was playing snooker. And
You can't catch a break.
oh, can't. They wouldn't give it a rest. They screwed back for him, right? So anyway,
That place has gone to pot.
oh, excellent! I love it, right? And so anyway, they fucking shoot Morgan Earp in the back, and he died on the table apparently. So that leaves Wyatt Earp, right? He then becomes deputized. So sorry, the Cowboys who were doing those killings, Bill Brocious, Johnny Ringo, Ike Clanton, they were getting away with it by like Ike Clanton, a couple of boys go do one, and then Bill Brocious goes, "No, they were with me." And there's no evidence, so you get away with it. So they're getting away with murder, literally. And then Wyatt Earp, mate, decides, fuck this noise. And he throws down him and
He's the
Doc
last
Holliday.
one. So build this up more. He's the last
He's
one
the
left.
last Earp
They've
in the
got all his
fight, right?
mates.
Morgan's dead. Virgil's moved and has his leg amputated. Doc Holliday's still hanging around with him. He's suffering from like long-term sort of tuberculosis. He's living out west
How
to
big's
have
this
the dry
town,
air.
though? Is this a
What?
small? This is a small town.
Small ass town, like, but I mean, people would live sort of outside it on like farms and all as well. But it's a busy town because you've got people constantly coming through going west, so it's real busy. And then Wyatt Earp basically becomes deputized to go after the Cowboys as a U.S. Marshal, I think, and went fucking apeshit on these guys. He deputized a load of other boys basically, and they went after the Cowboys, and in classic revenge movie style, you fucking kill them all, right? Bill Brocious dead. Johnny Ringo, Doc Holliday is meant to have taken him out, although
I'll
is
be
that
your
true?
Huckleberry.
Pardon?
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry, like from the movie from Tombstone. Val Kilmer, amazing performance. They're meant to have had a shootout down by. There was a shootout down at this creek, and that's when Bill Brocious died. Wyatt Earp is meant to have taken him down. Ike Clanton, I think, ended up getting away with this for like he lived for a long time. Did he live through most of this little war?
A few of them got away, but then like would die in the aftermath. Like
Aye.
years later, they'd mysteriously die. So there's always rumors that
Like somebody went after him, yeah. But like Wyatt Earp ended up living into the 1900s, didn't he? And
yeah, into his
Like-
late 87, something like that.
and like into what, maybe like the 30s or something like that. Did he die?
Yeah.
20s or 30s?
Holy shit.
Am I making that up? I might be
So he
making that
lived
up.
through like maybe
Yeah,
the first World
29.
War.
1929 he died, right? Doc Holliday
He was
died.
alive when potentially when our grandparents were being born.
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that mad? My granny was 24, 25 when he died. Isn't that mental?
Yeah.
She'll have like seen newspapers.
She could-
Probably
she might
had
have
like
snubbed him.
Wyatt Earp died.
Her Granny Bartlett, she was a hard ticket. He'd have fucking handed her back before she handed him back. You know what
They
I
used to call her chips and beans, didn't they? Because you go anything.
mean? There's no answer to that. Like,
You called her a hard ticket,
she was a hard ticket.
right?
Granny Bartlett.
Yeah.
You wanna fucking hear a myth story?
We'll do an app on Granny Bartlett.
We could literally do an app on the first 20 years of that woman's life.
Fine.
Buck mad anyway, which
Buck
is also
mad?
which is also what they called her. Old Buck Mad Bartlett. She'll buck you until you're mad. Now, so we've talked a lot about my granny in this anyway.
Yeah.
So she was hard though. But anyway, so
So am I.
basically, in the aftermath of this, then Wyatt Earp kind of went on. He was renowned, if you like, at that time, like notable, but he didn't really become like massively like world famous,
Myth.
say, until his myth kicked in. I think this movie I'm talking about him is like 1931 or something like that. So it was actually probably silent. It wouldn't have been.
So he just missed out on seeing the movie.
Yeah, so he misses out on the premiere, right? Doc Holliday died of the tuberculosis, right? I think he lived quite long though after that too. Was Doc Holliday late 1800s, early 1900s? Maybe like, I want to say like 1905 or something did he live? I might be wrong.
No, he died in 87.
There you go, fuck, not that long, 87.
1987.
Don't know where I've pulled that one from, but anyway, he died as well, and then the OK Corral myth, the gunfight myth, of how important that fight was, and that was all stirred by the movie. There was a book, I think, that preceded the movie,
I think there were books and like pulp fiction type little.
like dime novels, like,
Yeah.
and then the movie came out and it became world famous, and then they made the next movie in the 50s, and then they make the next one, so it's sort of like, what's the word, like perpetuating itself. But
So is it one of the original, like, where this thing, because in every western there's the standoff, like you describe, where the bad guys come to town, the sheriffs are up against it, everyone flees inside, it's all quiet, we tumbleweed,
yeah,
and then there's a shootout.
tumbleweed to fucking
Yeah,
like I was an eagle.
right.
And then you might get like a ticking clock somewhere, like like the church bell goes
Yeah.
off,
Yeah.
doo all that shit. Unbelievable. So it was like a standoff like that, and 3 people died. Happened in 30 seconds. Sort of epitomizes though what the West was. Do you know what I mean?
Is that
Like,
why is this so important?
well, it was important in Tombstone becoming a peaceful place for people to pass through, but also it was about law overcoming outlaw, and then it's, I mean, important historically. Like, it's hard to know. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
More culturally.
it's
than-
culturally important, yeah, and like it really gives you a snapshot of what it was like at that time. But like also sort of happening around, I think around the same time, which was more historically important, is like the Billy the Kid stuff, the Lincoln County War, which I think might have been wee bit earlier, 1870s maybe.
Right.
The Lincoln County War is more historically important about like just like that area and the business and stuff like that, and how business was being done and corruption and government and all. Well,
70s.
70s, yeah.
70s.
So like it would have been more historically important, I think, but this is culturally huge, and I would come down personally, even though like some of the details are fudged. So like Wyatt Earp didn't lead it, although part of his legend is probably because we were just talking about this earlier, he didn't get shot, and Dan was saying he never got shot in his whole career, which if you actually think about it, he was a sheriff in Dodge City, he was a pimp, he worked in casinos, he was a shotgun rider on stagecoaches, and then had all this shit and was standing in that gunfight and didn't get hit.
Yeah, like if your
pretty
ambition was to
mental.
get shot, you would have done all his jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I mean, he's done everything. The stick.
Jakey had like a weird kink for being shot.
Yeah, or seeing boys getting shot.
Yeah, yeah.
Doesn't even need to shoot them. He just needs to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what got him off. That's what
Yeah.
that's what drove him west. You know, I don't even. Doesn't mean anything.
Kieran, do you know his full name?
No.
Wyatt Barry Stapp Earp.
Wyatt Barry Stapp Earp.
That sounds like words you're adding into something because it's like a password.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Wyatt Barry Stapp Earp. Stop! Anyway. So he's yelling.
Stop or you'll get the Earp.
So he, I would say this is mostly him saying, even though there's bullshit around, like, some of it, and bullshit around, like, where it actually happened, like, 6 doors down or whatever.
I've got to say story.
I'm gonna say hit, yeah, because we'll literally have newspapers of it. There's newspapers.
The myth will probably be when people see the film, and they obviously embellish things in the film, make it a film. They'll probably think the film is like exactly the way it happened.
Yeah, because like
You know what I mean?
in Tombstone, they do reenact this, and it's pretty great, but it goes on for longer than 30 seconds. Like,
It'd be mental if in the film it was just the main key scene was just 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It has to.
isn't it longer than 30 seconds?
I think there's some slow-mo stuff, but I don't know if it would be much longer.
Is there not a bit like where, yeah, there's a bit where they're in the building and all, and the actress and the actress is there. She's in the middle of that. She's like lying down on the floor, isn't that in the middle?
The townspeople are watching it from
Yeah.
other buildings.
Uh,
But the actual from first shot to last shot.
Interesting. Be interesting to know how long that is. Feels like longer than 30 to me. In my mind's eye. But
I don't
you don't care.
care.
But what do you think then? Hit or myth?
Hit.
It's hit, isn't it? Like, I mean, there's.
Apart from our boy Virgil, he didn't get hit. I don't know why.
Mate, he didn't get mythed.
They mythed him.
Yeah, they turned his fucking left leg into a myth. You know what I mean? Oh, here.
He's mything half his leg.
Unbelievable. So yeah, I think out of all this, so one of the guys that gets fucked over the most is the guy that Morgan Earp was playing snooker against.
Yeah.
You never know if he was gonna beat him that night.
Yeah. That's true.
You know, but Morgan gets fucked over because he got wounded in the gunfight, and then gets shot in the back playing snooker. Like, that's nasty. Like,
Yep.
but yeah.
Was anyone framed for that?
Oh. Anyway,
Let's take a rest.
so that's been the gunfight at the OK Corral.
That's been okay.
Hit. It's been alright.
That's been good. It's been good. I enjoyed that. Didn't know anything about it. I will watch that. The Val Kilmer one. I'll watch that
Tombstone's
film. I'll
fucking.
watch it.
It's a show. Don't. I know you wouldn't do this anyway because you're responsible. I saw Tombstone when I was
Drunk.
maybe like 9, 10. Wouldn't watch it with kids. It's pretty bloody. Like,
Right. Yeah. My 3 and 1 year old sons will not see
just
it
on
anytime
this
soon.
point though, what age do you think they would need to be before you would let them watch something that's like murderous, like Tombstone? Is it like less than
It
10?
depends on their like personality.
Aye.
For some kids, like I could have watched something like that at like 10.
Like what age would you have been watching like action movies at?
Kid.
Yeah, like
Young kid.
8, 9.
But
10.
then I was like, it wasn't gonna have an effect.
No,
on me.
I'm the same.
Same
yeah.
with comedy, same with stand up. Like my dad,
Watching Billy
especially,
Connolly, yeah.
would from the age I could sit on a chair and have the attention span to watch something.
Yeah,
I could pretty much watch anything.
yeah. I think I was that way. I definitely would have been doing like, you know, your Die Hards, your Terminators,
Yeah.
like 7 and 8 years old.
Right.
Like, I mean, if you actually think about it, the Terminator 2 toys were massive when we were like 6 and 7.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, fun times and a fun trip into, you know, don't watch bloody murder
Can we
movies with
please?
kids.
You know the way we're getting the TV
Stick
series?
7 on for the toddlers, like.
You know the way we're getting the TV series of this?
Yeah,
The Wild West. Can we go? Is Tombstone still there?
yeah.
Yeah. Tombstone Dodge.
You could do Tombstone. We went through it.
We should. Sorry to interrupt. We should reenact the thing, but with water pistols.
Airsoft guns. The ultimate. The airsoft gunfight at the OK Corral.
Yes.
The water gun fight at the OK Corral also works, but I would never say water gun.
Right.
Water pistol. Anyway, what about... Have you been to Oatman in Arizona?
I'm in Arizona.
I've been to Oatman in Arizona, which is like an old west town.
Imagine I said yeah. Do
you know who- Matt's been there?
Say it again.
Have you been to Oatman in Arizona?
Oh yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Did you feed
Who
the
hasn't
donkeys?
been?
Did you feed the donkeys? That's not a euphemism.
No.
Did you feed the donkey?
Are you telling me our agent has been there?
Yeah. Like, and when I mentioned it to him, he's like, "Holy shit, I can't believe you've been there." And I'm like, "I'm a cultured guy." The drive
Cool
up
guys.
to it, brutal. The drive down from it, brutal. But it's this wee mountain town, literally in Arizona, with the fucking, the rocks just grow up out of the ground. It's like fucking,
As opposed to from the sky.
Yes, as opposed to those ones, and it's like proper just desert, and then this wee town, and it's literally like an old west town.
Well, you can show me when we
They
get
do
our TV series.
reenactments and all. It's fucking
What
mental.
do we want this to be on? The History Channel? National Geographic?
Oh, do you know
You
what
pick.
though? I would take history.
We're more History Channel.
History Channel.
National Geographic would be more like if I was sitting here and there's just a wee nut hanging out. Just giving you the nature vibes,
Dan, can you get in touch with History Channel and pitch us?
Also get in touch with National Geographic and see do they want that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they probably
Do you want to see Chief sitting there with his lanyard floating about, his Williard?
I enjoyed that. It's definitely hit.
I think it.
So that wraps up another mystery. Join us next time when we could be discussing anything from any era. Who knows? All we know is it's going to be either a myth or a story. Kieran, thank you for that.
Thanks very much.
Let's, Dan, you say draw, right? You have to keep your hand touching your hip.
Right.
And then when Dan says draw, you've got to shoot the other person in the head, and it's whoever's quickest to do it.
Right.
Kieran, you going left hand or
I don't have to go left hand from here.
I'm going right hand.
Right.
drop?
Who won? Do it again?
Kieran shot like the lamp.
Okay.
That's
You
your
killed
head.
You killed
look at your
Emperor
finger.
Vesuvius. It's literally not. It's not.
Well,
Okay,
I'm
go
going right
again.
hand then.
Right, last one, then we'll close on this.
Drop.
He got me.
Yeah.
He got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
Old fast hands. That's what
Big
they call me.
shooter,
They look at me.
Kieran D.
They look at me in Tombstone at the fucking poker table and go, "He's cheating me. He's cheating me." And then they stand up. They think, old Rummy Bartlett won't know how to fucking handle a Colt.
This boy's
then,
got a stun hand.
And then I whip it out, do them, and somebody says something like, "Oh," and then do you know what they start calling me? Big Iron. Because that's what I carry on my hip, and I'm a big unit. Big Iron. And then the song, Marty Robbins, Big Iron, comes on.
Okay.
Did you ever hear that song?
No.
Play us out, Dan.